testing API design without writing code. You can mock an API to test it before it is implemented. This can be useful in getting early feedback from developers. You're able to use the API console and mocking service to run a live simulation on your API specification done in RAML. The API console is available in API Designer, so the API Designer can test it, and Anypoint API portals, so users and developers can test it as well. Using the mocking service. One of the great features of the designer in the API Manager is that it has a mocking service that enables the API console to be used to make calls to an API that has no implementation yet. It'll return your sample API responses that you've defined in the API definition. And it can be used in the API Designer and in API portals as well. So let's see exactly how this works. Walkthrough 2.2, using the mocking service to test an API. In this case, we're going to add an example response to an API definition, turn on the mocking service, and use the API console to make calls to the mocked API. Let's get started. In this short walkthrough, we're going to turn on the mocking service and observe what impact it has on our API Designer. In the top right of your screen, if it's not already turned on, you can flip the mocking service to on. And the change that you should notice in your RAML definition is you should now see a base URI set up inside. This base URI has a specific address at MuleSoft.com and provides a UUID representing your specific API. Now, if we look to the right of our resources, we can see the flight resource and get. Let's click get again. And now you'll notice you have the ability to try it unlike before. Let's click try it. And inside of the try it box, you'll notice it'll actually let you specify a query parameter if you wanted to. And any parameters and URI parameters that we'd have in here, we could actually specify. For now, let's go ahead and hit get. And when you hit get, if you scroll down, you should see a response come back. Now, what happened here is it went out to this actual address, and you can actually hit this outside of the API Designer as well. We got a 200 back from the mock service, some information about the headers, and then the body came back. Now you'll notice as of right now it says the RAML had no response information for application JSON. This effectively means that the mocking service recognized that it should return a 200, but didn't have any response data, and we'll fix that soon. Let's try one more call here just to see how the mocking service could have affected it. If we go back and close out of this try it, and then head over to our flights ID get. Inside of here, we can click try it. And you'll notice in this case, if we try to hit get, we actually aren't able to because we need to provide an ID inside of here. So let's say we want flight number 3. You'll notice it updates the URI in the URI parameters. Let's hit get. And now if you scroll down, we have a very similar output. You can see the actual URL it called to the mock service, the 200 it returned, along with the response, which also is stating that it didn't have an example response body to give back to our client. And that's what we're going to look at in the next section.